Hey everybody, Fun Junkman here. Welcome back. I got another Chainer's Guide for you. So this one I'm kind of going to go over the event that we have going. Uh, it's a mission event. There's also some stuff in Discord, a few other things happening. So touch a little bit on the AMA that happened here on Wednesday. Yesterday I'm just kind of getting around to being able to do some of this. Yeah, been a little busy. So okay, yeah. So I'm going to jump into it here. So uh, what they got, they put a mission out. Of course, these are the same event missions. Everybody's freaking out because you got to make two epic seeds, epic, and that takes a lot of legendary fertilizer and stuff. But the thing most people fail to do is count these, right? So there's six up to the purchase two, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's planted 15 physalis seeds, 11, 12, 13, and there's a 14th one. So you only have to do 13 to win to beat this event. So if you're willing to buy the 4 packs of seeds or whatever, then you can complete this event because you do not have to do this mission. And it only gives a spring seed and a random fertilizer, so it's not like it has to be done. So it's not that big of a deal. So my plan is to target the little 89-cent packs. I'll get some of those seeds, and I'll show you those in a second. But yeah, so oops, I gotta claim those. That's like every hour, every half hour. Yeah, maybe every hour right now. So right now I'm running about 70 million bio points a day. So yeah, but if I jump into the shop, I'll show you. So event offers. Buy this right here. Go buy 4 of these, right? One, two, three, four. So you're up to $4.40. That's no, so 4 of them. So $3.56. Uh, Really, to get the stuff you're going to get out of this, it's not going to be bad. You'll get 4 of these seeds. Yeah, whatever. They're going to be best. They're going to be the best seed in the game, or maybe the basil will. I don't know which one's going to be, but right now basil is kind of ridiculous. I'll jump back into the farm and show you that. Uh, I've got a rare or no, an uncommon basil. So, uh, I'm collecting some of those. So jump down here and I'll show you. So this right here, they're 12,192 bio points each, and that's only on a rare level, right? So I can plant this, and so I sold some of them. I don't know why I do that. I just do. I just don't pay attention when I'm selling stuff. So yeah, but yeah. So realistically, right now 12,192. I mean, so that's better. That's better than yeah, so it's better than the Star Ansi. And that's only at a rare. So what's it going to be when it gets all the way up there, right? So you see it jump from 95 to 12, so 3,000 jump, so we had another 6 to it. It's going to be probably above the lavender. It's probably going to be 19.5 to 20 as a legendary. So it's going to be one of the best in the game, but I think the other one will do just the same essentially. So yeah, but eventually, essentially that's how I'm going to or I'm going to attack this event, this mission event. But of course, I always wait till after the reset because you got to do the daily reward, all that stuff. So there's no sense being in a hurry to buy any of this stuff. So I'll do it later. I just want to kind of go over it. So, all right. Next thing, I'm gonna jump into Discord here real quick. So I want to touch on this. This is a World Cup event that they put together. So every deposit you make, I think it has to be up to $10. Golden tickets for every $10 you deposit. So if you deposit $10, you're going to get tickets. And then what you can do is then you can go to, once you get a ticket, then you can go in here and go to the matches, and then you can go in here and make your predictions. So once you have a ticket, you can do so you can do 2 or 1 or whatever, right? So you have to spend some money inside the game to get these tickets. And so once you get the tickets, you get points. If you predict a score right, you get points, right? So if you get, 3-3, and they're going to do a leaderboard, right? So the leaderboard is going to pay out 150 USD to the top and down to 10th place for 250 CFB. This is actually a pretty good prize. Uh, I never guess right. So I don't know enough about the World Cup teams to be able to do any of that stuff. So of course, this is what I post on stuff, right? So I'm glad I don't have any tickets today because I would have bet on Morocco, and I made this with Grok over on X. So yeah, yeah, it says I should have picked France, right? I didn't pick anybody because I just don't know enough about this stuff. So yeah, okay. The other thing I want to touch on here as we jump into some of this stuff is they talked about in the AMA the other day. They talked about a few things that are coming up. So they're working hard on the mini games. Hope to have one out before too long. The Gee, what else was there? They talked about Tier 4. So Tier 4 is going to release. They said sometime in the next, 2 weeks. It'll be in July, they said. So what they basically said about Tier 4 is they are just going to add Tier 4. So the rewards for Tiers 1, 2, and 3 are going to stay the same. And there's going to be criteria once people make Tier 4 that they move up. So, I don't know what they did. They wouldn't say what the prize pools or tiers were going to be for, for Tier 4, but you got to think it's going to be better than what Tier 3 is. So, we'll see. If nothing else, it's going to spread, it's going to spread people from Tier 3 to Tier 4. There's going to be a lot of people mad they go to Tier 4. Going to be a lot of people happy they stay in Tier 3. But realistically, everybody's probably going to double their income, maybe a little bit better for some of us. I don't think it's going to be, I don't know. I honestly, depending on what criteria they make for moving from Tier 3, whether it's a daily or total or whatever, right? But I just have a hard time seeing, that many people moving from Tier 3. So Tier 4, which I assume I'm going to end up in, right? If you look at my overall, what I've sold here now, oh, wrong one. So I've already sold 17.8 billion worth of biopoints, right? So, I'm 8 billion over what the original threshold was that I met last November. So, yeah, but I'm making about 70 million a day right now, biopoints. So the earnings isn't that great right now because, the pools are just oversaturated. So I don't want to open that too much because it'll show you guys kind of how much I have held, but I'll show you. It don't matter, right? So, oh, this is the wrong one. So, if you come in here, look at the CFB. If I click that all button, you see I got 500,000 bio points ready for Tier 4. So, depends on what happens when we move up there. I'm going to probably hold them for a while. That's going to be my strategy. Maybe just keep holding until the pools balance out because I think there's a lot of people holding. They're going to dump real fast when they see the bigger numbers. But I'll look at it after the first couple days and see what the average looks like and whether it makes sense to sell or to hold. So, yeah. Yeah, really, I mean, the game's still evolving, still moving forward. They did talk about making new feed for some of the older animals. So that could be a good thing for those of us with a bunch of stuff that we have. I mean, if you look at my animals and stuff, I've got all these legendaries down here that I just, and I'm not going to make the pigs. I'm not going to make any more deer. There's no sense doing any of that stuff because, I don't need anything. I'm not using anything but the peacocks and 3 legendary pigs, and I'm not going to remove anything to put anything more than the pigs out there. So, ultimately I'll probably end up, if I end up getting enough peacocks, I might run 40 peacocks on this and just get rid of these 12 plots. I don't know yet. It'll make it to where I can, go a lot longer in between having to fill my cropper up. But, they didn't talk anything about a cropper update, which I don't see coming anytime soon. One of the other things that popped up was a survey about whether or not we wanted to move everything off the blockchain. I don't think it's a bad idea for most of the stuff, but my biggest question is transactions back to the blockchain. What's it going to mean when I sell stuff? What's it going to mean when I withdraw tokens? What's it going to mean? What's it going to mean? What's it going to mean, right? But that's the kind of stuff that'll come with time. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to cut this off now. I've been talking a little over 8 minutes, so. All right, everybody, have a great day. You like these videos? Cool, check them out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find me on Twitter. If I ever win a code in any of the giveaways or anything, I'm gonna give it away on Twitter. So it'll only be to people who follow me and comment on stuff. But yeah, so if you guys want to find me on Twitter, yeah, okay. Everybody have a great day.